seeking a sip of fine. Ah, this one.
Trapped! Thank you for heeding my call, newcomer. I don't suppose your passage to Somerset brought you past Warden Coraldale? My father, Curteros, runs a boat in an angler fleet. They're long overdue, and while his stride tends to be a leisurely one, I've never seen the whole fleet gone for so long. I'm probably over-concerned. The weather's been fair and the wind's mild. Perhaps their fishing has been so fruitful they dare not waste their good fortune. But I'd feel better if I knew what to make of their delay. The fleet set off west. Warden Coraldale is an island engulfed by coral reefs, but you can reach it safely in that sailboat. I'd go with you, but I'm afraid I don't share my father's comfort with open water. Not especially. I've never been myself, but Father's only remarked about the occasional ornery coral crab or hungry salamander. The reefs are the only real hazard, but only to a ship of considerable size and flimsy make. Oh, there's not much to tell. He's plied the sea for its bounty for as long as I can recall, and that's some time, mind you. We eat well, and he makes a fair bit of coin with his best catches. But sometimes I wish he'd keep a bit more lively. Not since I was very young. My father took me fishing once, showed me how to bait a hook, coax a bite, and work the line until the catch tires out. It wasn't meant to be an eventful trip, but it turned out that way. Father dozed off, so I continued to apply what I'd learnt without him. Soon enough, I'd hooked my first catch. Or rather, it hooked me. Yanked me clear off the boat and into the deep. I was too shocked to let go of the rod, nearly drowned. Yes, fished me out of the drink, quite literally. He still calls me his prized catch. It's funnier when you're not coughing up seawater.
Well, never seen you before. Guess no one told you that this is my spot. Been my spot nearly a century. And it'll be my spot a century more, God's willing. So don't go getting any ideas. Plenty of space down the coast. So, off with you now. Huh, fancy that. I told Hiranessa for years those sea elves would mount an invasion from Warden Coraldale. Of course. Any Royal Marine of the Queen's Navy worth their salt would. Might have traded... Aye. Even if they caught a glimpse of a sea elf cutter before it reached Warden Coraldale, there's no chance a fishing boat would have outrun it. If anyone from the fleet's still alive out there, it's our duty to help them. Lest we split up. Unless my creaking knees give me away, I ought to be able to handle some scouting while you're searching for survivors. We'll rendezvous with the old lover's tree near the reef on the eastern shore. My friends will know the one.
Sacred ascendants, take me home. I thought you were a sea elf. One moment I was just dipping my toes in the shallows having a pleasant day. The next there's a murderous corsair or hungry reef viper around every corner. We're trapped. He's alive. At his age, I'd have thought he'd be the first to fall prey to those sea elves. Should have given the stubborn old salt more credit. I'll make my way to him. Better than waiting to die out here. Thank you.
Seals, fond of winged snakes and soggy chests. Noted. Ah, fleshy, thick-thumbed biped. Hello. You're an elf, right? Or is it a man? I'm sorry. I have some difficulty telling you people apart. You're much less blue than the others. In color, I mean, not disposition. Anyway, what can I do for you? Josiah. Wait, you're talking about that jittery mage I tricked into freeing me, right? Oh, she's a delight. I had hoped for a longer holiday. Can only manage a leap like this once a century after all. Ah, well. I'm actually quite comfortable here, mate. Cozy accommodations, the transliminal tones of the ocean waves, gangly meat brains to mock. But I guess I should be going. These elves plan to sell me. Can you imagine? I'll help you. On one condition. When we're done sewing up these chronosymphonic when we're done sewing up these time breaches, you'll let me wander the Mundus of peace, right? So, should we get going, or...? Fair enough. So, where to? I assume you've got a map or something? So, you know where we're going now, right? Good. You take me to a time breach, and I'll help you spot it. Huh. This bag's a bit snug, eh?
Stranger, don't anger the salamanders. They're the only thing keeping those sea elves from wandering too close. What are you doing out here? I've never seen you before. You're sure we're talking about the same Kurtaros? The one I know is more likely to be mistaken for dead and sleep right through this whole mess.
All this crouching is damnation on my back. But I've seen everything I need to know what the enemy's up to. How fares the search? Any sign of Carterel? Never do when it comes to these sea elves. They'll rob us of more than a few good souls before all is said and done here. They're digging in, placing ballistae along the shore. When the Royal Navy finally does mount an attack, they'll be taking fire from Maormer on both land and sea. It'll be a bloodbath, unless some misfortune befalls their plans. Catch my drift? I'm not suggesting we repel the whole invasion, but I do know my way around a ballista. If we turn one toward their own ships and cause enough of a stir, we can draw on a friendly patrol and catch the sea elves out of their element. I'll get into position and await your attack. Then we'll give those sea snakes a good spearing while these two make for your vessel. You do have a vessel, don't you? All right. You two go prepare the boat our friend brought. We'll provide a distraction. Trinamac's wrath be with us. Hold them off while I spear that cutter! This is for Carterel! They're scattering like minnows! Keep on the attack! That'll do. Fall back and get to the boat. Captain coming aboard. Boats prepped and ready.
Father, you had me so worried. What happened? Where's your boat?
None of that now, my Nevis Cup. I'll tell you all about it. But first, there's one more thing we need to see to. Come, friends. It's time we commit our memories to the drink.
He washes up here after being gone for weeks, his boat nowhere in sight, and he acts like it's just another day on the sea. Was everything all right? Did he cause you any trouble? Oh, he put you up to that, didn't he? Papa always loves to embellish his journeys. Whatever the truth is, I'm just glad you brought him home safe. He's not fooling me. I can tell something happened. Father's putting on a brave face, like he used to whenever I'd ask him about his younger days. He'd smile and deflect the question, but I could see a sadness in his eyes he couldn't hide. His secret. The fanciful story of meeting my mother, a myth about how the moon and stars winked on the day of my birth, and tall tales about his fishing voyages. Before that, not a word. Not once. I don't think I'll ever get the truth. 70 years isn't enough. I love my father, but all I want is to love him for who he is, not who he shows me. When he was missing, I wasn't just worried I'd lose him. I was worried I'd never get the chance to know him. You didn't come here to listen to a grown woman bawling about her father to a stranger. Forgive me. You did enough bringing him home safe. What comes after is up to me. He and his mates have a tradition of celebrating their safe return. They're partial to a small batch brewer on the south side of Alinor, by the craft masons. They'll probably be there all night. Oh yes, she and Carterell have been together for years. She used to look after me when I was younger, while Father and the others were off at sea. She's a good friend. I imagine she'll be with Father and the others, waiting to see Carterell when she arrives. The fanciful story of meeting my mother, a myth about how the moon and stars... You're serious? So what you said about the sea elves attacking, it was all true? What's he hiding? Was he a pirate? I always wondered if he didn't talk about it because he was ashamed. Why would he hide that? I'm sorry, I have so many questions and it's not you who has the answers. I'll leave my father to the company of his friends for now, but when he's ready to come home, he can't leave his other life behind this time.
Oh, you're going to love this one. I'm seeing a tiny island surrounded by... It's either water or cats. Difficult to say. Let's hope it's the cats, eh?
No, no! These models just won't do! finally decide to pursue true art, to move beyond painting backdrops for someone else's stage, and what models do I find? Polished, unblemished, all round boringly beautiful. I need someone who will give my work meaning, a depth of morality. As a matter of fact, I do. I've heard rumors of a Hulkind in the forest outside Relenthiel, a perfect subject for my work. I'd like you to serve as my proxy and arrange a meeting between us. High elves who were cast out from their families as children. A horrible fate in our society. Thank you for accepting my offer. I traveled to the Hulkind myself, but the wilderness is no place for an artist. Besides, they may be more willing to talk to a newcomer such as yourself. The Hulkind are well known for being distrustful. High elves strive for perfection in all things, and their bloodline most of all. Hulkinds are children abandoned by their families for some perceived imperfection, generally a physical deformity. They're more than just orphans. They're outcasts. In Somerset, family stands above all. They guide your life, almost immeasurably. To be without family is to be unseen, unrecognized as a member of our society. I will admit it's an odd desire. Most don't even wish to speak of them. But as an artist, I find myself fascinated with the subject. I want to capture that taboo, to paint the morally grey, where so many only wish for black and white.
I expected more from you, even if you are a novice. What did I sponsor you for?
This is absurd. These standards, not even you.
I have to keep working, else I'll never become a sapiarch, if you'll excuse.
I'm so hungry.
You there. You're new to Elenthiel, aren't you? You certainly look like an outsider. I regret the necessity, but I must beg your aid. My brother is about to make a terrible mistake and join an appalling organization. Worse, an acting troupe. The House of Reveries may be famous across Somerset, but my brother is one of the most gifted academics of our generation. For him to waste his talents performing for rich nobles is just irresponsible. I fear he's already signed up, and that's why I require you as an ally. I'll need you to infiltrate the acting troupe. Laredale, my brother, knows my face, but he does not know yours. You must find him for me so I can talk him out of this. Auriel himself would smile on your kindness. Now, we haven't a moment to waste. The House of Reveries is... Well, they don't take just anyone. Only the most talented performers even get an audition, but don't worry. I've already devised a solution. I've enchanted a set of knives that will allow you to juggle with perfect rhythm. Oh, it's quite simple, really. Toss one in the air and relax your mind. Your hands will do the rest. I've used them a number of times and never cut myself, and I'm about as coordinated as a drunken mud crab. I'm certain you'll impress a sponsor. Laredale and I have studied magic all of our lives, and have found few who match our skills. I knew it only a matter of time before a great opportunity came along, but even I was shocked when we were invited to join the Sapiarchs. Yes, a rather rare and momentous occasion. You're currently looking at the new assistant to the Sapiarch of Artifice. Not a position to be taken lightly. But how does Laredale react to such incredible news? He runs away to join the theater. I have no idea. He just left a letter saying not to look for him. I suspect it's just nerves. I can't imagine leaving my brother behind to rot here in Relenthiel. I need to find him and help him see reason. At first I tried to search for him myself, but Laredale is an even more powerful mage than I. He was able to obstruct any spell I cast to find him. I was able to track him here using more mundane means, but it set me back a month. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what is going through his head right now. For him to even consider wasting his talent on entertaining nobles with parlor tricks, why, it's simply unthinkable. What, and let this madness continue? No. Laredale is both a mage and researcher of extraordinary talents. He would be of great benefit to Somerset, perhaps even all of Tamriel. I just need to speak with him and I'm sure I'll convince him to leave. From what I understand, it starts with impressing a sponsor. A senior member of the House of Reveries selects applicants who they believe have demonstrated talent. They then train that applicant for a final audition in front of the Grand Maestro. It determines if you'll be accepted into the troupe or not. Not that you truly need to worry about that. As long as you acquire alchemy as your sponsor and are allowed access to other hopefuls, you should be able to find out where Laredale is. In this case, alchemy is a mer, not a practice. She's a member of the troupe and sponsor to the current potentials. They all have silly names like that. Banter, serenade, clever. Just another complication in our ever-eventful search.
Ah, this one has been looking for you. Raz's investigations have brought him to Relenthiel. When this one noticed your Psijic friend slip into town, Raz figured you'd be along soon. So, what did you discover on Arteum, the island that isn't here anymore? Ugh, that made Raz's head hurt. Yes, this one has been exploring the Daedric connection as well. But Raz hates Daedra. In Raz's experience, very little good comes from dealing with Daedra or their cultists. And this revelation brings you to Relenthiel, yes? That is disturbingly vague. Why must cryptic cultists be so... cryptic? Well, Raz saw Valserin head toward Canonry Farmeldo's house. This one suggests we start our investigation of the area there.
Go inside and we'll discuss this later. And take off that ridiculous hood.
Ridiculous? I'll show you what's ridiculous. I'll show you all!
You think as Canon Reeve I'd be immune to the troublesome temper of a spoiled and rebellious child. But what distinguished visitors I have today. A wandering sage, a well-dressed Khajiit, and you. What brings such a group to Relenthal? Investigating. For who? Well, there have been 3 reports this week of someone disappearing. And my intractable son Nadoril and his malcontent friends have been cavorting around the large sinkhole that recently appeared. What are you implying? They're just young and proud of their heritage. I wouldn't draw such a harsh conclusion without substantial evidence. I can't understand why they're fascinated with the sinkhole, but that doesn't make them criminals. It's unusual for newcomers to encroach upon Altmer affairs, especially since we rarely saw any prior to the Queen's decree. If you want to investigate, I won't try to stop you. And if anything happens, maybe it will teach my son to avoid the place.
Raz, can I leave a few more questions? Take the Psijic and go investigate this sinkhole.
You can do this, Ashala. You can. Oh, my stomach.
Well, I think that's quite enough.
Next.
Well done. Come, talk. No more auditions for today.
Oh, curses!
My, you certainly do have a talent for juggling. One might almost say your hands work like magic. Tell me, why do you wish to join the House of Reveries? A wonderful answer, but it's not very creative, is it? I'd work on that. You'll want something more dramatic if you wish to impress the Grand Maestro. Still, I'd be happy to sponsor you for house membership, if you complete my challenge, of course. When we join the troupe, we abandon our old selves and take an identity reflected in our masks. What unique item suits you, I wonder? A griffin feather? Yes, that would be lovely. Go collect a feather and meet me in front of the Manor of Masks. Oh, not much, I'm afraid. I have many names, but my true name is spoken only in the dead of night, and only in the softest whispers. I am the daughter of a dragon and a rather robust Telvanni. I spit fire and turn into a wyvern on the full moon. Only me, of course. I'm teasing you. I was actually born whole from the earth when a lonely sapiarch cast a spell to create a wife. He was attractive, I'll give him that, but boring, so I left him with a mud pie and ran off to join the theater. Oh, you're no fun. Did I? Well, let's see. Have you taken a lover recently? What was their name? Oh, are you in a committed relationship, or was it a one-night tryst? Did you lift them to the heights of ecstasy, or leave them unfulfilled and disappointed? It's a question, isn't it? A personal question like yours, a question one stranger should never ask another in polite company. I have sponsored many in my time with the House of Reveries, just as one once sponsored me. Those names are theirs alone. Why, I put you through your paces. After all, I've deemed you worthy to perform for the Grand Maestro himself. Whether he offers you membership is beyond my ken, but I've never made the mistake of leaving him bored. See that you don't embarrass me. You may join us, if you wish. Cast aside your old life, become who you truly wish to be. Live for your art, for the stage, for the sound of applause. But you must never reveal your old identity. It is our own. Have you happened to meet an artist in Somerset? Had that distinct pleasure? All they care about is fame. But within our troupe, we live only for our passion. To prove that devotion, we rid ourselves of the past and live only for the present. We always wear a mask. To your mother, you are an innocent child. To your lover, a sinful treat. A friend to your companions, a terror to your enemies. But many here find their true selves within their craft, within their passion. I know I have.
Enough, Silery. Are our business to solve, not yours.